and welcome to Dickinson's Real Deal. As always, I feel we're going to have a few sellers that are going to give our dealers a run for their money.
1,000. Am I getting warm?
No. I'm happy to pay 90.
Would you stretch to 100? Well, you're going to be a tough nut to crack, you are, aren't you?
Keep trying.
But why should I give them money away?
Then there's the alternative. We can go to auction.
250, 60, 70, 270, 80, 90.
It's worth a bit more than that, but
540, 560. Do you want 580?
you never know, you see. Today, the show comes to you from the magnificent Anglican Cathedral in Liverpool. Just look at it, it is awe-inspiring. The crowd are here, they're eager to do business, they want to walk away with the real deal.
People are pouring through the doors of the Cathedral Church of Christ, where the dealers are waiting for them in the nave. First up to see Tony Gearing is Harry. What have you got for us?
I brought in a fishing reel and its leather case. I have in mind £170. I probably won't accept less than that.
Perfectly made, you know, precision engineering here. So I'm going in blind, but with valour.
That's the spirit, Tony. Best of luck.
What have you bought in for me today?
I brought you an early 1900s Farlow reel and its leather case.
Farlow reel. They're good maker, are they?
Yeah, it's a very good maker. Their address is embossed on the case and on the reel,
Right.
which indicates that it was early 1900s because they moved their address afterwards. So.
And that's the Strand, of course.
It is the Strand, yes.
And
in London.
even today, it's still a wealthy area. So whoever went into this shop then
Yep.
certainly paid up for this. And you can always tell quality.
Yes.
It's just, you can feel it. The tension
Very
of
good
it, you
piece of
know, which is
engineering.
what you need when you're trying to get a fish. I mean, I'm not really a fisherman myself, but anyway. And an ivory little handle there.
Yes.
It's got everything, hasn't it? I mean, you wouldn't think this was brass, really.
Not indeed, no.
It's
no.
sort of plated to reflect polished steel, which is something I haven't come across.
Yeah.
How did you come by it?
It was my father-in-law's, who was
Right.
a keen fisherman. I'm not. And so it's been lying in a cupboard for quite a number of years now.
And I understand there's a bit of a story about your father-in-law.
Yeah, he was a stonemason on this cathedral.
Amazing.
In the 1930s and into the 1950s as well.
Right, Harry, let's have a look here. 20. 40. I like the smile. Tell me if I've got too much down, won't you? 60.
Nowhere near.
Not even close.
No, not even close.
I shall 80.
Keep trying.
Keep trying. God loves a tryer. 100.
No.
I'm kind of where I want to be with it.
Well, I'd like to hear what David's got to say.
So would I, actually.
Well, I've just run back to my independent valuers because we've got varying estimations between 140 to 200 pounds. £100 is on the table. I think it's too cheap. It's a lovely thing. I think at this stage it's worth a gamble, unless our farmer here, who has a salmon river running through his property, comes to the party.
I think we've got a live one here. Right, well, you know, I really like it, so I'm going to have another go. 140 was the low, wasn't it? So I'm going to match that and then round it up to make 150.
Another tenner might seal the deal.
Another tenner. What about I split it with you? A fiver. A Lady Godiva. How's that?
Yeah, we have a deal.
Harry, thank you very much.
That extra £5 swung it for me because I had to take into account the auction fees.
Well, I'll sell the fishing reel for a profit. No problem. Quality always sells.
Fighting talk. We'll see how you get on. Now, Sue has brought in some advertising boards and Alison Chapman is keen to snap them up.
You'll not see this happen that often with me. I'm just going to ask her what she wants for them, because I want them. They'll be coming home with me.
Better go for as much as you can, Sue.
Well, what is their history? Tell me all about them.
Well, my daughter restores furniture and she found these in the bottom of an old wash basin that she was doing up. They were wrapped in brown paper and being used as shelving.
Right. Well, I can see there's a few marks on them, but I think they're
Yeah.
actually delightful. Really lovely. I
Yeah,
love
they
them.
are, aren't they?
And Bear Brand, is that a local name, do you know?
Yes, that's a Liverpool factory now. It's defunct now, but it was a very famous factory in Liverpool.
Was it?
Yeah, in Woolton.
Right. They're very appealing, aren't they?
Yes, they are. They're very retro, aren't they?
Yeah, vintage, which is
Yes,
all very fashionable.
yeah.
Well, I love them and I'd like to buy them. So, what are you going to make me pay for them?
Oh, I don't know. What do you think they're worth?
Oh, I don't know either, really.
No, I don't.
Okay, well, I should have a go at buying these. This is all delay tactics, you know.
Yes.
Well, I decide what I'm going to put down. So, £50.
Oh.
I like them that much.
Yeah, you must think that they're worth something if you've given me £50.
Well, I hope they're worth £50. But I really like them. They have great appeal.
Yeah.
Blimey, she likes them, doesn't she?
I
So,
really do.
Bear Brand, there are obviously advertising signs for ladies' nylon stockings. They would have been seen on the counters around about the 1940s. 20 to 40 pounds is the estimation from both the independent valuers and the auctioneer. So it goes without saying that Alison really likes them, really wants to buy them, and I'm going to say you should sell them to her.
Well,
There you are.
master spoken. Yes.
Do you want to take my £50?
Yes, I will, Alison.
Lovely. I'm really happy with them, Sue.
Thank
you
you.
very much.
I wasn't expecting Alison to offer that much so quickly. I was really happy, so I thought I'll take my money and run.
Well, I said I was going to have the posters, and I did. They're delightful. I'm thrilled to bits with them.
Coming up, Henry's got a battle on his hands.
400. Oh, you're going to be a tough nut to crack, you are, aren't you?
And Cheryl's got one with David.
I would have preferred the Beatles or Elvis.
I only like the Beatles and Elvis. Well, Beatles and Elvis would be thousands of pounds, darling. Welcome back to the magnificent Anglican Cathedral in Liverpool. What a place to do the show from.
It certainly is, David. And did you know the Cathedral Church of Christ took 74 years to build and was completed in 1978? There's been a huge turnout today of people hoping to get our dealers' wallets open. And over at Cheryl Haley's table, Valerie has brought in a personal collection to sell.
So you've brought along some autographs. They've got a story.
They have, yes. I collected these in the 50s and 60s. I had an uncle who worked at the Adelphi Hotel just down the road, and most of the autographs are from people who stayed at the Adelphi, so I've collected them all myself. Some of them, as you can see, are cut out of programmes. You know, they've signed programmes for me.
You must have a couple that are favourites or have got a little bit more of a story, Val.
Yes, I think my favourite sporting one has to be Sir Len Hutton, who played for England and was really the epitome of cricket in the 60s. And then of the music hall stars, Max Bygraves is always a fun one because he was such a fun person to talk to.
Any more?
This one's Semprini. Now, you have to be my age to know who Semprini is. He was a very well-loved classical pianist, and he was appearing at the Philharmonic Hall just after the war, so it would be late 40s, and that was when I got his.
Did you sort of wait outside? You were
Yes.
a bit groupy, Val, were you?
Yeah, well, my mum used to take me down because we used to go and see my uncle at the theatre, and we'd get a message the day before to say Max Bygraves will be coming, and do you want to come down?
That must have been really exciting.
Yes. So,
Now, why are you thinking of parting with them then?
because there's only me that loves them. And they've been in a box and not come out. since I moved house. So they need to go to somebody who'd be more interested in them.
I know there are some very interesting people, but the things that are bringing the money that people are wanting are those really, really big stars and
absolutely,
things.
yeah.
But I'm going to put some money on the table and see what you think. £20.
No.
Said that very quietly, didn't I? 25.
That's very nice of you, but I'll decline, thank you.
David.
Well, I think it's worth a little bit more than that. There's a lot of interesting names there. 30 to 40 is the independent valuers. Val is a terrific lady. I'm going to say to you, behave yourself. Put a little bit more. Put a little bit more money in.
David, these are not quite my thing. I would have preferred the Beatles or Elvis.
Are you saying that Val doesn't have strong enough stars or personalities in her autograph?
No,
I only like the Beatles and Elvis. Well, Beatles and Elvis would be thousands of pounds, darling. Well, you've only got 25 quid on.
I know.
OK, I'm going to get out of this before I get into trouble, because she's digging her heels and I can see that. And it will be those well-known heels, those big 6-inch needles. They've dug in now.
Val, you're really lovely, but that's what I'd like to bid you. The choice is yours.
I think I'll take them to auction and try my luck.
Are we friends?
Of course we are, yes.
It was lovely to meet you.
Thank you, and
Good
you.
luck at auction. Have a nice day with David.
I will. I would have liked a little bit more money from her, because there are some really interesting people there. But I think going to auction might be successful.
I'm glad Val's still friends with me and I haven't upset her by offering £25. There weren't enough big names for me, as I said.
Does auctioneer Adam Partridge think Val can do better?
Well, it's bound to do better at auction. Good decision.
20.
Sounds promising, but will the autograph hunters be waiting in the sale room? Let's find out.
33, isn't it?
Now, Cheryl, 25 quid for those autographs is just ridiculous. They're worth more than that, but the reserve is still 30 quid.
Right.
It's a low reserve, it's worth more than 30 quid. Let's see what happens coming up now.
2 lovely autograph books with a good selection inside there. At maybe £30, 30's online. At 35 the room.
We're at 35. It's worth a bit more than that, but
35, 40's online. At £40 and 5 the room. £45.
45, more like it.
At £45, 50's online. At 50.
That's more respectable, isn't it? £50.
Hammer's up and selling these at £50 for the 2. At £50, you're all done at 50 then.
Gavel's gone down at 50 quid. There is a little bit of commission to take away. Real deal is £42 you're going home with. Happy?
Oh, very.
Satisfied?
Yes. Sir Len would be pleased.
OK. On the day, real deal, £50, take home, £42.
Next up, Jimmy has brought in a 19th century watch and Henry likes the look of it.
I love pocket watches. Really looking forward to trying to buy this one. It's a definite.
Money-wise, I mean, I'd be looking to somewhere in the region of £500.
Hope you've brought plenty of cash.
Well, lovely pocket watch. What's the history?
Well, it was my grandfather's.
Okay.
He got it presented to him in 1939 and retired.
Right.
And it was passed on to my father. Basically, it's just been stuck in a drawer for the last 60-odd years.
Right.
My mother said, why don't you take it in and see what I can get for it and maybe pay for a holiday for me and my children. So
We'll try and get there for paying for your holiday. We'll have to wait and see. Let's have a look at what we've got. It's an Elgin pocket watch, and it's what we call a hunter because it's got a closed cover both front and back. Mm-hmm. Now, you say it's a presentation watch presented to your grandfather.
Yeah.
That's nice, but what's nicer is that they haven't engraved it.
Yeah.
Quite often, the values are ruined really on these when they are engraved.
Yeah,
and it's really more sort of sentimental to the family involved. You have two types of watch. You have them when they're gold back cover, gold inside cover, or plated cover. Luckily for you, we've got here a gold inside cover, and we can just see there the movement ticking away.
Oh,
American movement.
It runs fine, yeah.
Elgin, lovely, love it, and it's in really nice condition. Really nice condition. So, shall we get some money out
Yes,
and
please.
see what we can do? 20, 40, 60, 80, 1. 20, 40, 60, 80, 2. 20, 40, 60, 80, 3. Well, you're going to be a tough nut to crack, you are, aren't you?
Not even close yet.
Not even close?
No.
320. Getting closer?
No.
Okay. 340. 360. 380. 400.
Not quite there yet.
Not quite there yet.
No.
Have you got
Still
a price in mind?
Yeah.
Am I far away from that?
You're not that far, but you need a few more down yet.
400 on the table.
Yeah.
I think we should ask David. David.
Yeah.
Well, just before I came to watch this starting, I went across to the auctioneer and to the independent valuers because their valuation was slightly different. We had a 450 to 500 pounds, and we had a 5 to 8 from the auctioneer of the day. And I said to him, well, what makes this so special? And he said, well, I've seen items of this quality bringing £600 day in, day out. And so he's very keen on it. That isn't a guarantee, but at £400, I think we're low. Put some more money down if you want to buy it. Otherwise, you and I will go to auction. Tick-tock.
Thanks, David. So we're at 400.
Yeah.
420. 440. 460. 480. 500. What do you think about 500?
It's a good offer. One more and it's yours.
$520 you'll buy it?
Yeah.
Sure?
Yeah.
$520 it is.
Yeah.
Jimmy, thank you very much
Thank
indeed.
you, Henry.
Thanks.
Cheers.
That was a hard deal. The profit margin will be fairly minimal on it, but you know.
Me and the kids are off to Cornwall to see Grandad and his watch.
After the break, Alison's got her hands full.
So I'm supposed to hold it like that. What does that mean? Woo!
Welcome back to Dickinson's Real Deal. Today the show is coming from the city of Liverpool, where a huge crowd of locals have turned up at the cathedral with their antiques and collectibles. Next up, Charles has brought something very unusual to Alison's table, and he knows what he wants.
I definitely want about £250 for them, but if she offers 200, I'll definitely settle for that. I'm quite happy to meet her in the middle for that.
That's all well and good, Charles, but what exactly is it?
Next thing coming up is a divining kit. I've never bought one. I don't know if I need one. I don't know what to pay for it. I'm really quite excited to find out more about it.
You're not the only one, Alison. The Duke and auctioneer Adam Partridge are just as baffled.
Have you seen such a thing?
I've never seen one in 20 years of running auction rooms.
Tell us more about it, Charles.
These are actually a pair of divining rods, and these are used to find different materials on the ground. So the most common one everybody knows is water.
So I'm supposed to hold it like that.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, what does that mean? Woo! What does it mean?
Usually you tend to hold them perfectly straight, perfectly level.
Right.
And then as you're searching for different materials, you'd pull one of these elements to the metal rod itself, which then earths it. And when they cross over, indicates that you're over that particular material that you're searching for.
That's interesting, because we are actually on slate, and they did cross. So let's see.
Yeah.
We're on slate, I'm holding slate, and they've crossed.
Yes.
That's like amazing, isn't it, really? They're fascinating. So, how old are they?
I've done a bit of research, and they're about 30 odd years old.
Okey-dokey.
My mum was helping clear a warehouse out as a surveyor, and they were going to get thrown. So she's saved them.
I've never seen the likes of this. I walked around the cathedral with them. They seem to be going towards the font, as far as I could tell. So I honestly don't know if it's the real thing, but from your perspective, I'm sure there will be buyers.
There will be. I'm sure there will be. It ticks all the boxes, doesn't it, for collectibles? And I think these days with the internet bidders, a lot of people online are going to fancy that as well. So I've got high hopes for that.
So where do you see it, Adam?
Well, I put 80 to 120 pounds. We're often derided for that estimate, but I think that's the very least it's worth. And I think it could go on from there and might make towards 200 quid. Very hard to predict, isn't it?
I look at that and think, it sounds pretty cheap to me at 80, 120. Alison has already got the divining rods in her hand. I know she's going to be a punter for this. The question is, how much is she going to pay for it? Let's see what Alison puts on the table.
Why are you selling it?
I've got my first child on the way.
Oh.
So every penny helps.
Right. Well, I think that's a very happy cause, isn't it?
Yeah.
I'm going to give it a punt at 50.
No. Another 2 at least.
Another 2 at least.
Another 2 at least.
What do you think about that offer? You see, suddenly, the 80 to 120 is seemingly a little bit low. I'm going to go in there and tell our seller, I think this could do better in auction.
I need a bit of help myself.
Well, when this arrived, we thought, amazing, fabulous. I have never seen a piece of kit like this before. Now, the independent valuers and the auctioneers, they've said 80 to 120 quid. Because of its novelty value, in the sale room, it could get 150 or even more. But it might not. So it's always a gamble if you go there. I think 50 is not really divining the rods properly. I think it's worth more than that. I think it's a good lot. I think if you bought that, I think you'd have no end of people interested in talking about it, and eventually, I think you'd get a good buyer for it.
This is a very speculative piece, isn't it, really?
Yes.
However, I do agree that with these instruments, any scientific instruments, people are attracted to them. So I'm happy to put a bit more down. That's 70. My offer, 90.
Another 20. I'm quite happy to sell it for 110.
Well, I'm happy to pay 90.
Would you stretch to 100?
Well,
and I wouldn't go any higher.
I would rather it had a name. If this is made by the best, they always name it. And I can't see anything, unless I've overlooked something, that indicates the name to this. And so no, I'm going to stick at my 90. And I think we're all gambling here.
Yeah, go on then.
You sure?
Yeah, why not?
Absolutely sure.
Why not? It's only going to collect dust.
We've got a deal then?
Yeah, definitely.
Thanks ever so much.
Yes, I got a little less than what I wanted, but at the end of the day, every penny counts when you've got a little on the way, so I'm very happy.
And I'm happy to have brought it at 90. And I would have paid 110, but why should I give my money away?
Oh, Alison, what are you like? Across the den, Cheryl's with Chris, who's brought in a colourful piece of glass.
Very unusual piece of cranberry glass. I've never seen a piece of cranberry glass made into some bellows before.
Let's see if you blow hot or cold when it comes to putting your money down, Cheryl.
So, where did you get this from?
It was from my mum's. She passed away recently, and we just thought we'd like to sell it and raise some money and get a nice memorial for my mum or something.
And do you know where your mum got it from, or who gave it
it's
to your
possible
mum?
that it was actually given to her from her mum, because it's been in this glass cabinet in her house for many years.
Well, I've never seen anything quite like this made of cranberry glass before. It's supposed to be, well, representing bellows that people would use to light a fire.
That's right, yeah.
Which I find quite strange. We normally see cranberry glass as little wine glasses and jugs and vases and in all shapes and sizes.
Yeah.
And it's always got this really pretty frilled decoration to it. Now, whether this has been sort of what we call end of day glass, where they had just bits of glass left over,
yes,
and the glass makers would just make whatever took their fancy, Possibly, because as I say, I've never ever seen...
How old do you reckon it is then?
Well, I think it's probably about 1900, 1910, 1920. There was a little bit around here that I wasn't sure if that was a bit of damage. It felt a bit sharp. And there was also a little bit there, but that's maybe just where it's been snapped, you know, snapped off. The glass below was... Yeah. It's an unusual one. So I'll put some money on the table,
okay, fine, yeah.
See what you think. I'm sure you've got a bit of an idea of what you might like for it.
Yes, fine. Yeah.
Okay, so £20.
I think it's worth more than that.
A bit more, okay. Now about £30.
No, I still think it's worth more.
Okay. I'm going to put another 5 down. 35.
No, I still think it's worth more.
You think it's worth more?
I do, yeah.
Let's take that there. £40?
Yeah, still a little bit more, I think.
A bit more. I think I'm out at 40. It's different, but I'm not sure if I might struggle with it a little bit.
You couldn't go another 10?
I'm going to stick at 40.
I think I'd rather go to auction then, I think.
Okie dokie. Thank you for bringing it along.
Okay, thank
and
you.
the very best of luck on
nice
the day.
Nice to meet you, thank you.
And you.
This time.
There's only one way of finding out if Chris should have taken Cheryl's money. Let's join the Duke at the auction.
160.
Were you tempted with that £40 offer?
I was tempted, but I've made a decision. It's like, if we can get 50, we'll take 50
Okay.
or more.
So he's come to the auction. There is a £50 reserve. It's coming up now. The question is, do we have the right buyers in the sale room? Hopefully we do. We'll see.
Next size 150, which is a cranberry bellows flask there. What do we say for that? Maybe £50, is it? 50? 30 then, maybe £30.
You never know, you see.
£20 for it, 20 bid. At the back now, 20, we're in at £20, take 5 now. At 20, any advance, then we're on the back at 25, at £30 on the back of the room.
It's at 30, it's creeping.
And 40, a new place, 5, sir. No, it's £40, take a 5 if you want, it's 40. Any advance on 40. One more if you want it, it's £40. So close, but I'm afraid I can't sell it.
So on the day, it didn't sell. Bit disappointed.
Yeah.
Come on, what we're going to do with it now? It's going home.
I was going home. One of us will most probably keep it for now.
Yeah.
Maybe put it into auction.
You know, what you've got to remember is, you know, your mum will have treasured this.
Yes, she did.
You know, she would have thought this is the bee's knees. So get it home, get it on a shelf in a cabinet, somewhere you can see it and say, Mum, I'm looking at it now. So that is the thing to do. Right. That is the real deal.
Coming up, Tony's clueless.
I might be wrong.
I could be wrong.
Well, I could be wrong.
But Henry knows exactly what he's up against.
1,000. Am I getting warm? I knew you were going to say that.
Welcome back to Dickinson's Real Deal from the Anglican Cathedral in Liverpool. It's magnificent.
People haven't stopped coming through these church doors all day. Now, over at Tony's table, Joan has brought in a style of lamp most people would recognise. It's made by Troika, the famous 1960s Cornish pottery group. What do you want for it, Joan?
I don't have a price in mind. I don't want to go over the top. I'm not greedy.
You might have to push him a bit. What are your thoughts, Tony?
Love the Troika lamp. My kind of thing. Definitely going to have a go at it. Yeah, nice piece. It's great, isn't it?
Yes, lovely.
I think this was made when I was born.
Probably.
It's a 60s one anyway.
Yes, yeah. Late 60s, early 70s.
Do you think it's early 70s?
I think so, going by when I first had it.
Did you buy it?
No, I didn't. My 2 sons bought it when they were on a holiday in Cornwall.
So wow! So it's come straight from the potter.
They were only very young then. That's
were
why
they?
I'm probably about 9.
Really? And they went out of their way to buy you this? Because I really like the sort of front of this sort of, it's almost like an eye, and then it carries down this arrow to the heart.
Lovely.
Which is lovely, isn't it?
It is.
So there's something magical and
maybe
loving.
That's what they thought.
Yeah, something from the heart for you.
May have done.
Beautiful. And AB, it's signed. Do you know who that is?
Alison Brigden, I think.
Is it, or is it Avril Bennett? I
Well,
think it's Avril Bennett.
Is it?
I think so.
Oh.
I might be wrong.
Well, I could be wrong.
Well, I could be wrong.
Probably me.
We weren't there when it was made, were we?
No.
And we've got another completely different, sort of more Aztec kind of detail going on. Why on earth would you want to sell it if it was given as such a loving gift?
Well, I haven't used it for quite a long time. And the boys have been at me for years to get rid of it
Have
because
they?
they don't even like it.
Oh, gosh. Well, you may as well have the money and run.
Exactly, this is what they've said.
You've got a good idea what it's worth?
I thought I had, but it fluctuates, doesn't it, over the years? It
does.
changes so much. Yeah, it changes.
20, 40, 60, 80, 120, and 40, and 60. How's that? Not bad.
Not bad.
How much did the boys pay for it, do you know?
I don't know.
Oh,
They can't remember
they can't.
themselves. I did ask them. They can't
That must have
remember.
been quite expensive even then for 9-year-olds.
Well, they were away with their grandparents, so I think
Ah.
they had a bit of help.
They've been in the purse, haven't they?
I think so, in Nan's purse.
If we make it 170, how does that sound?
Make it 180 and it's a deal.
Make it 180? Let's make it 180 then, shall we? Thank you very much.
Thank you,
My
Tony.
pleasure.
Well, Tony was so lovely, and I really appreciate how lovely he was.
Isn't Joan just gorgeous? I'd love to take her home, not the lamp.
Over at Henry's table, Cecilia has a proposal for him.
Cecilia?
I brought my wedding ring in today, and I would like £1,800 for it.
I think we're looking around about the sort of £1,700 mark, something like that.
Will your price get Cecilia's blessing, though?
What a chunky ring you brought in to show me. What's its history?
It's my wedding ring,
Why are you choosing to get rid of it, if you don't mind me asking?
because if I can show you, I can get it on, but then as the day goes on,
Okay,
I have
and your
difficulty getting the ring off.
fingers swell up.
Yes,
Yeah.
yeah.
Okay. It's amazingly heavy.
It is.
It really is amazingly heavy. And we'll have a look at the hallmark. Yeah, it's got the Sheffield assay mark and the crown with 916, and 916 is Britannia Standard Gold. Okay, it's 22 carat, which you can sort of tell by the colour, by the weight of it as well, because the density of the gold is quite extraordinary. Mid-1990s, 95, 96 is the sort of date I'd put to it.
95 it was made,
Right,
at the
okay.
end of 95, and
Okay.
I got married in the beginning of 96.
And did you had it specially commissioned? Or?
Yes, yes,
Right,
yeah.
okay. I mean, it's an unusual style. It's almost a sort of 70s style in a way. And I
Yes.
love these rolled over edges here. I bet, I mean, in its day, I should think it cost you a small fortune
It
to have
did,
it made.
actually, yes, yeah.
So, you know, I'm hoping I'll be able to compete with you on buying it. I mean, the one thing I would say about it is that the principal value is going to be in the weight of gold.
Yes,
You
yes.
know, because it's just very plain, I think it's going to be pretty much bang on that. So, I need to get some money out. Well, there's no point messing about, really, is there?
No.
No, not really. So, there's 500. 1,000. Am I getting warm?
No.
I knew you were going to say that. 1,500. Am I getting close?
No.
No. That sounds very, very, very challenging. 1,550.
No, thank you.
1,600.
No, thank you.
Come on, Cecilia. Cut me some slack. 1,650.
No, thank you.
1,700.
Well, first of all, I'm amazed that a delicate lady like this could walk round with such a heavy wedding ring.
Yeah.
It's a substantial ring.
Yes.
I'll cut to the chase. This is all about the weight in precious metal.
Yes.
And my experts tell me there is £1,800 worth of precious metal there.
Right.
I would have no hesitation in saying to you, take that money and go home. £100 profit for laying that kind of money out. I'm proud of you. That is no profit at all. That's a very, very handsome, good price for your ring.
Thank you, David. So, you heard what David said, 1,700 on the table.
If you put another 50 down, then I'll shake on it.
Another 50 down?
Yes.
I'm getting close to where I want to be. Do I want to give another £50 for it? Just cuts the profit down so much. But, you're such a lovely lady. 1750, do we have a deal?
We have a deal.
Thank you so much.
Thank you very much indeed. Henry was fantastic, actually, and I felt that it was very fair.
At the end of the day, I'm happy, and Cecilia went away, I think, more than happy, so we're all happy.
But were all the dealers happy when they got home? Cheryl certainly wasn't. She didn't manage to buy anything today.
You've only got 25 quid on.
You've got to speculate to accumulate, Cheryl. Tony was convinced he'd got the catch of the day when he bought the fishing reel for £155.
Very much. Well, I'll sell the fishing reel for a profit. No problem.
Well, actually it was a problem because it's still waiting for a buyer to bite, as is the Troika lamp. Not so bullish now, hey, Tony?
Right.
Cheeky Alison thought she'd got away with it when she bought the divining kit for less than she should.
Just wanted it, and I'm happy to have bought it at 90, and I would have paid 110, but why should I give them money away?
But her cunning plan hasn't worked out because that and the ad boards are still sitting in her shop.
Oh.
And there was no telling Henry either.
It's a good watch. I won't have any trouble selling it.
Oh, but you did. The gold pocket watch is still unsold. In fact, the only thing that our dealers managed to sell today was the 22-carat gold ring.
I'm going to earn maybe £50 on a good day, but it's £50 I didn't have before.
Well, nearly, Henry. So between them, our dealers have only managed to make a measly profit of less than £50.
Oh.
So it's our sellers who are today's real winners. They walked away with £2,745. That's the way to do it.
Don't forget to join me, David Dickinson, next time for Dickinson's Real Deal. TTFN, ta-ta for now.